Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very honored to be a member of these chambers, the House of Representatives. Very proud to have been blessed to be born an American citizen, and very proud to be raised by my immigrant parents in this great country, in a community called Pacoima. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in celebration of Black History Month. My neighborhood of Pacoima has a long and rich history of wonderful, beautiful, amazing Black Americans, untold stories, and uncelebrated heroes who have shaped the San Fernando Valley and my neighborhood of Pacoima. The community that I call home, the community where my immigrant parents raised my 10 brothers and sisters and I. This is the community that gave us our first Latino United States Senator to represent the great state of California, Senator Alex Padilla. A little known fact is that the first Congress member from Pacoima and the San Fernando High School is my esteemed colleague, the Honorable Barbara Lee. As a teenager, Congresswoman Barbara Lee began her activism when she refused to accept the segregation of her high school cheerleading squad. Rather than accept this injustice, she challenged the white majority school and turned the local chapter of the NAACP to advocate to allow minorities the opportunity to be cheerleaders. Congresswoman Lee was victorious and won the right to cheer for her school. She was the first African-American cheerleader in the history of our high school, San Fernando High School. She is now a champion for justice as a United States Congresswoman. The history of Black Americans in Pacoima that dates back to World War II. Following the World War, due to racist red line policies, African American families were only able to purchase homes in the communities such as Compton in South Los Angeles, Sun Village in the High Desert, and Pacoima in the San Fernando Valley. By 1960, almost all of the 10,000 African Americans in the San Fernando Valley lived in Pacoima. This community became the center of African American life in the San Fernando Valley. Pacoima was known as California's first Black suburb. One of the examples was the development of the Joe Louis homes. These homes were the only hope and opportunity for African Americans to have home ownership. These homes are named after the former heavyweight boxing champion whose name was used as a ruse to steer Black buyers to Pacoima. Joe Louis had little or nothing to do with these real estate developments. But from this, African Americans living in Pacoima set a foundation of the beautiful community that I call home. It is a history filled with heartbreak and tragedy, hope and inspiration. Pacoima's Black history is a thread that keeps our community together. I would like to use this opportunity to spotlight community leaders that are the cornerstone of our history of Pacoima. Religious leaders like the Broaddus family. The Broaddus name is embedded in Pacoima's history through the countless contributions made by Reverend Broaddus and his family. Reverend Hillary T. Broaddus was the founder of Pacoima's Calvary Baptist Church and served the community faithfully. He helped organize the San Fernando Valley chapter of the NAACP and led efforts to build Hubert H. Humphrey Memorial Recreation Center. Reverend Broaddus was a World War II veteran. He owned and operated a successful barbershop before he turned to the ministry in 1952. In May of 1955, he founded the Calvary Baptist Church of Pacoima. Through the Calvary Baptist Church, he played a fundamental role in bringing healthcare, educational, and recreational opportunities to our community. The former Fillmore Street School is now named in honor of Reverend Hillary T. Broaddus. In 2022, Hillary T. Broaddus Elementary School administration, parents, and students, along with local artist Juan Reyes, painted the largest mural in the Los Angeles Unified School District in honor of the contributions he and his family made to the Pacoima community. Mother Rose Lee Broaddus. Mother Rose Lee Broaddus co-founded Calvary Baptist Church with her husband, Hillary T., in 1955 and served as vice president of the first board of directors of the Pacoima NAACP. Her legendary involvement in the community organizations included Church Women United, Braille Institute, Fair Housing Council, Pacoima Coordinating Council, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, PTA, Los Angeles Public Library, and the YWCA. She was also the first to organize Negro History Week programs in the San Fernando Valley. She served as a board member of the Valley Faith Interfaith Council, charged with overseeing local senior citizen centers. Reverend Hillary and Mother Rose Lee Broaddus raised 10 amazing children, 6 of them pursuing religious and community causes. Unfortunately, 3 of the Broadduses are no longer with us. The Broaddus children include Reverend Alicia Broaddus Duncan, the oldest of 10 children. In the late 1970s, she became a minister. She was a fierce advocate for seniors and served as the executive director of the Northeast Valley Multipurpose Senior Center. In 1990, she was tapped to head the merger of what had been 2 senior centers into one large center. The facility serving the diverse Northeast San Fernando Valley with a team of over 80 staffers. The services provided at the senior centers are critical to the thousands of seniors living in our community. They provide instrumental resources on nutrition programs, arts programming, socializing activities, and transportation. After her unfortunate passing, the center was renamed in honor of her, the Alicia Broaddus Duncan Multi-Generational Senior Center. The center continues to serve as a community hub for our entire neighborhood. Apostle William T. Broaddus was the leader of Calvary Baptist following his father's legacy, where he established the Children's Church at Calvary, the Calvary Baptist Church Social Service Ministry, and the Calvary Baptist Koinonia Bookstore. Apostle Broaddus led ministry trips to Africa, campaigned against street violence, set up a Latino ministry, and advocated for formerly incarcerated individuals and for economic development in the Northeast Valley. The city of Los Angeles dedicated the intersection of Vaughn Street and Dronefield Avenue in honor of Apostle William T. Broaddus. Reverend Arthur Lee Broaddus. Reverend Arthur was the musical soul of the Broaddus family. He was the choir leader and former director of the Pacoima Community Youth Cultural Center Choir. Reverend Arthur served as the San Fernando Valley field representative for Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley. During the 1992 riots, in an effort to calm any potential violence, he dispatched ministers to hotspots throughout the valley. He was a mover and a shaker of the community and always looked to unify the neighborhood. All the Broaddus children, Marie Broaddus Nellums, Rosita Faraha Broaddus, Hillary L. Broaddus, Reverend Zeter E. Broaddus, Reverend Pamela J. Broaddus, Reverend M. Cecilia Broaddus, Francis Broaddus, Opet, they are the definition of community service, and their work is seen every day in the streets of Pacoima and beyond. When it comes to empowerment, Marie Harris, community activist and honorary mayor of Pacoima, was born on October 10, 1922 in Houston, Texas. She attended schools in Pittsburgh and married Alvin Harris soon after her high school graduation. She led efforts to develop the first new major shopping center called Pacoima Plaza for the Stars. Marie, a Pacoima resident since 1960, was a devoted mother of 3 children and known for organizing local fashion show fundraisers. Marie was an amazing fashion designer. She spurred the Pacoima Property Owners Association and produced the Back to Pacoima Expo, a long-running reunion for expatriate residents of Pacoima at Hanson Dam. She was a fierce advocate for the San Fernando Valley and was one of the 3 original signatories to begin the process for the San Fernando Valley to secede from the city of Los Angeles. She did this to spark the debate and ensure that the San Fernando Valley residents received their fair share of the city services. She was a true community leader, advocating to get streets paved, clean sidewalks, and tree trimming, and much more. Harris is survived by her 3 children, Sydney, Rolene, and Alton, 5 grandchildren, and many, many great-grandchildren. In her honor, Pacoima's late honorary mayor, Marie Harris, the city of Los Angeles proclaimed the center of Glen Oaks Boulevard and Van Nuys Boulevard Marie Harris Square. When it comes to civic duty, Jose de Sosa, former president of the San Fernando Valley NAACP and active civil rights leader, is the epitome of civic duty. In 1988, he was elected as the first statewide president of the NAACP. He was born in Panama City, the Republic of Panama, and later migrated to New York City. He enlisted in the United States Air Force and served our country for nearly 10 years. De Sosa worked for the Pacific Telephone and Telegraph Company. Soon after the company merged with AT&T, he and his wife, Juanita, moved to Pacoima. As president of the NAACP, he used his Black and Latino heritage to build working relationships between both cultures. He was a passionate critic of the tactics and procedures of the Los Angeles Police Department and led the effort to ban the use of the battering ram and the chokehold by LAPD. He led peaceful efforts to unite hundreds of community members demanding for change. He was a former board member of the Neighborhood Legal Services of Los Angeles County, and to this day, their community room in Pacoima is named in honor of him. We have many legendary sports heroes that emanate from our community of Pacoima, especially at our great San Fernando High School. San Fernando High School Tigers football team. During the 1960s and 1970s, home of the Mighty Tigers was the training ground of future USC Trojans and NFL stars. An A-list of players such as Charles White, Anthony Davis, Kevin Williams, and Manfred Moore. Charles White, who recently passed away, was a track and football star at San Fernando High School. He was a star running back and won back-to-back city football championships at our high school. He then went on to USC, where Charles White was an All-American and the 1979 Heisman Trophy winner. He played in the NFL and led the NFL in rushing yards and was selected to the Pro Bowl in 1987. After his retirement, Charles worked for USC, and despite his struggles with addiction and mental health throughout his career, he was a true star. Unfortunately, we recently lost Charles White on January 11th, 2023. Anthony Davis was also another football star. He was also an All-American in 1974 who played for the USC Trojans. At San Fernando High School, he was a running back during their city championship run. He was known by Sports Illustrated as the Notre Dame Killer when he infamously led USC to a comeback victory. Notre Dame had a 24-0 lead. But before the end of the first quarter, Anthony Davis scored a touchdown, which kicked off a 55-point comeback. He scored 6 touchdowns, ran and caught for 368 total yards performance in one of the games, in a game versus the Fighting Irish. Anthony Davis helped lead the Trojans to 3 Rose Bowl games, including victories in 1973 and 1975, and 2 national championships during his 3 seasons. During his Trojan career, Davis won 5 national championships, 2 in football and 3 in baseball. He played his professional career in the NFL, the USFL, and the CFL. Another great star is Kevin Williams, who was also a USC football and track star and part of the tremendous trio with White and Moore at San Fernando High School. Known by his family as Little Man and nicknamed The Bug, he was known for his speed and elusiveness on the field. He played for USC and was drafted to the NFL. After his athletic career, he worked as a brakeman for the Santa Fe trains. We unfortunately lost him in 1996 in a devastating accident. Manfred Moore, before Charles and Anthony and Kevin were there, Manfred Moore, he was the running back for the 1967 San Fernando High School City Champions. He was also a state wrestling champion as well. As a USC Trojan, he was part of the 1972 national championship team that had one of the most dominant college seasons ever. These four mighty Tigers set the bar of athletic excellence for all of us in the San Fernando Valley. They are all true champions. Andre Crouch. Andre Crouch was a musical career began at home. He was the son of a minister where he found his love and passion for gospel music. His father, Reverend Benjamin Crouch, founded the New Christ Memorial Church. Andre bridged the gap between gospel and mainstream music, working with major stars such as Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Quincy Jones. Songs like Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, Madonna's Like a Prayer, became pop hits because of Andre E.'s musical genius. He also received Oscar nominations for the musical arrangements for movies such as The Color Purple and Disney's The Lion King. His popularity laid the foundation of R&B influence in gospel music to this day. His 8 Grammys were instrumental in the merging of pop, contemporary, and gospel and soul. When it comes to educating the children of our community, there is no one like Leroy Chase. For more than 50 years, the San Fernando Valley Boys and Girls Club president was the tenacious Leroy Chase, running one of the oldest non-for-profits in Pacoima. In 1968, he was hired and ended up expanding the small storefront into the large facility that it is today. Leroy provided resources to over 75,000 youth. One of those youth was me. He gave me my first job. After school, this was a place where boys and girls could study and do their homework. It served as a safe space to stay out of trouble. I would not be here if it wasn't for Leroy Chase. In honor of Leroy, the city of Los Angeles will be dedicating the intersection of Glen Oaks Boulevard and Pierce Street in his honor, in his name. The legacy of the San Fernando Valley Boys and Girls Club carries on through the work of his daughter, Nicole Chase, who currently serves as the president and CEO of the San Fernando Valley Boys and Girls Club, and continues the legacy of being a center for kids to learn and play. This is all done so that kids like me could reach their full potential, and we are so blessed to have Leroy Chase and his family in our lives. I close by thanking the Pacoima Historical Society and their president, Crystal Jackson, for ensuring that this history, the history of my community, our community, is being shared with future generations, and the great work and legacy created by these leaders will always be remembered and always be in our hearts. I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to take some of the time afforded me as a member of the House of Representatives to comment on the amazing, wonderful work that our president, President Biden, is doing and his administration. As I said earlier, I'm blessed to be a member of the chambers of the House of Representatives, to be able to speak on this floor, to be able to address my fellow Americans about the issues that face us, the challenges that we've had, and the hope and challenges that we will tackle in the future. President Biden and his administration is one of the most successful administrations in just these 2 short years that most administrations have yet to accomplish in 4 or 8 years. And I'm excited for the next 2 years to come. People talk about our government is divided, but at the end of the day, I truly believe in my heart that by working together, by hearing each other, we will be able to accomplish what we were sent to accomplish for the people of this great nation, but also, more importantly, to make sure that we restore the confidence that the world has in the reputation of the United States of America. Just recently, one of the most devastating earthquakes that has taken thousands and thousands of lives occurred in Turkey and Syria. And immediately, the Biden administration, along with all of the communities around the country, rallied together to send help and rescue teams to the people in need. Now, that's the United States of America that I've always known. That's the United States of America that we all can and should be proud of. That's the United States of America that we have some work to do to restore our reputation around the world. Because not every presidency is the same, Mr. Speaker. Some presidencies have torn down our image. But I'm so proud of the fact that President Biden and his administration is doing the work that we all deserve as Americans for our president to do, is to restore our position and the faith that people have in what good it is to know that the United States of America is here and we're to help. We're here to be assisting, and more importantly, in any time of need, we're ready to help any nation who needs our support and our help, especially those nations who aspire to be a democracy, especially those nations who need us to be there to make sure that we can help human beings live a dignified life. And I'm here to say, Mr. Speaker, that we've done it time and time again for generation after generation after generation to help as a world leader without compromising the commitment and the dedication that we have to the people of our great nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. Under the Speaker's announced policy of January 9th, 2023, the chair recognizes the gentleman from Arizona, Mr.